Mike Pachelli here. Thanks for tuning in. By popular demand, I'll be talking about the Beatles recording of Bad Boy that they did on May 10th, 1965. Now, this is another case where a cover version by the Beatles is far better than the original, as is the case with songs like Till There Was You, that I've already covered in a lesson, and You Really Got a Hold of Me. When the Beatles got a hold of a song and rearranged it, it was just far superior to the original. So during the filming of their movie Help, Capitol Records was requesting additional songs for a new album that they wanted to release in the United States. And Bad Boy was part of the Beatles song list. They first started doing it in 1960 when they were playing at the Indra Club in Hamburg. And they continued it in their live set all the way to the end of 1962. So on May 10th, 65, they went to EMI Studio to record a couple songs that they knew very well. One was Dizzy Miss Lizzie, and the other was Bad Boy. Both songs written by Larry Williams. Larry recorded Bad Boy in August of '58, but unfortunately it didn't do anything on the charts, and he was dropped by his label. The Beatles completed the song in 1 hour. Take 4 was the best, and they were playing and singing live. Actually, John was doing a scratch vocal track, because immediately after Take 4 was done, they went to do overdubs, where John redid his lead vocal, Ringo overdubbed tambourine, George double-tracked his guitar fills, and he fixed the ones that he didn't do quite well in the original rhythm track, and Paul overdubbed a Hohner pianette. Right after the session, the song was mixed and sent to Capitol for it to be released on Beatles 6. And fun facts to know and tell, the Beatles wisely replaced the "He's a Bad Boy" that was in the original Larry Williams version. And that's where George did all his cool lead guitar fills that I'll go into detail momentarily. So the song was released on Beatles 6 on June 14th, 1965. And that's the backstory, so let's get started. John Lennon is playing a Rickenbacker 325 through a Vox AC30 on Bad Boy. I have my 325 going through a Vox Berkeley Super Reverb Twin. It's a good song to have a short scale guitar on because you have to make some 5-fret stretches, and it may be difficult if you have normal size hands. You'll need a few chords to play the song. First, you need a C bar chord at the 8th fret, like this. Then you need some root 5th power rock kind of chords on C and on F. And I'll show you how to rock out on those. And the bar chord G just played to the 3rd string. Same thing, a bar chord F to the 3rd string. And you'll need a C7. So on the intro, John plays a figure of 1, 2, 3, and on that C bar chord. So he plays. Then George does a lick. John repeats that. And John goes. So that's from a B flat to a G. So it's 1. And that's it. And then John gets down and prepares to rock. Now, the verses are 20 measures long. And, it's kind of sounding C7, but he's playing a figure that would be like, which is C, E flat, E, G, A. But you do that by holding the root and 5th of C and use your pinky to make the E flat, E, and then the G, of course, is what your 3rd finger, and the pinky gets the A. So very slowly it sounds like this. Same thing when he moves to the F, just play. Back to the C. You do 4 measures of that C, and then the G, the figure is like to a C7. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 into the 2nd verse. So I should do that for you in time. Let me do the intro and a verse in time. Help me out, Ringo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. To the second verse. Now, if that's a problem, if it's hard for you to, stretch with the pinky, you can just play just play single notes, Maybe just get the root fifth of the C, and then play single notes. Same thing on the F. But if you want to do it like John, you just got to work your pinky. Like that. Now in the solo, it's no longer 20 measures, it's 12 measures. So it's 4 bars of C7, 2 of F, 2 of C, and then the G, the F, C, G. So on the solo, it'd be like this. I'll do the solo nice and slow how we would play. He'd play That's what he plays in the solo. Verse 3 is exactly the same as verse 1 and 2. And then I guess the only difference is at the end of that verse 3, when you play the G, you play. And then on the very last C7 is the only time you hear the E string on a C7 chord. He plays like that. And that's everything you need to know on how to play Bad Boy, just like John Lennon. George Harrison is playing his Gretsch Tennessean through a Vox AC30 on Bad Boy. This is a Gretsch Country Classic, and I'm still going through my Vox Berkeley Super Reverb Twin. I put a little delay and reverb on this tone. Basically, George just plays a whole lot of licks during the song, and when they did it live, he played, and you can hear that he muffed some of them. So I'm just going to concentrate on the overdub because it's what George intended us to hear. So after the first measure of John playing, George does this. He goes and then 1. And I'll try to go through these slow, but I don't want to make this too laborious. So if you download the charts and tabs, it'll be a lot clearer. But again, that very first lick is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Then on the third measure of the first verse, he plays this line. He plays. Then on the second part of the verse, he plays that same thing, but he does a whammy bar at the end. He goes. Right? On the F7, learn to read or write. He plays this line, just a bunch of C notes. It's 1. Da around the house and plays a rock and roll music all night. And then a G, just like what John did. But he plays that E flat to a C, bending the E flat a little sharp. And then we're off to verse 2. So on verse 2, more licks. At the very beginning, he plays the same one that he played twice in the first verse. He plays on the third measure of the second verse, he plays. And those bends are not precise with George's. They're never always, sometimes it's a flat 5, sometimes it's a whole step high. So just, play it how you feel it. Next one goes 1. Do 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 do, and he plays 1. Do 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 do, spinning in a hula hoop. He does a nice, kind of nice hammering, kind of to the, making a 5th and a dominant 7th of a C. And then he continues on by playing, what John did again. C7. And then we're on to the solo. Let me just do the solo for you. Nice and slow. Here's how the solo goes. He goes 2, 3, 4. And the solo at full speed, 2, 3, 4. Like that. On the beginning of verse 3 is the only time you hear a real C7 chord, and it's George going before he plays his next lick, which is one that he was quite fond of. And then onwards in verse 3, second part of verse 3, still on the C7, it's 1. Canary, and he fed it to the neighbor's cat. Here's my favorite line. He goes, so you play this F, and then you bend the D up, and you release it as you play it. Then play a C, and then bend this note. And so. Great lick. And da da do da do da do dee dee do 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 do. And the last one is back to two, three, four. Last C7. Again, charts and tabs will make that so much clearer, and you can download it at MikePachelli.com. But that's what George played on Bad Boy. I wanted to point out one other detail. It's what Paul plays on the piano, because it sometimes gets confused to be a bass part. But on piano, Paul plays a line like... So very slowly, it's C, E flat, E, G, B flat. And then on the F, it's like an F chord to an F7, something like... Back to something like a... So you'll hear that in my sound alike, and you'll also see how both John and George's guitar parts work together. So have a look at this.
He won't do nothing right, just sitting yourself.
Well, now you see how both parts fit together, and you gotta admit that's some great playing by a very young George Harrison. I suggest you download the charts and tabs at MikePachelli.com, learn both parts, play along with my sound like, and you'll get it just like the Beatles. And I appreciate your consideration in supporting my work that way. So have fun playing this great old song, and until next time, I'm Mike Pachelli. Thanks for hanging out with me.